The topic we are talking about is regarding child, right? Most of the people, when they are into adult, they just forget that they are having their inner child, right? So we must do some
Yes.
kind of activity in our life to keep that child alive, right? So what activity do you do in everyday basis, or what activity you should recommend for a person who is just
Yes.
because there is a child in everyone, right? But we neglect, right? We think that we are adult
Mm-hmm.
now, we cannot cry now, we cannot do what the child used to do. Now you can just we can't just make fun of someone, right? We can't just be
Mm-hmm.
free, right? So most of the
Mm-hmm.
people, most of the adult you see are not free. But I must remind you everyone that being free is our birthright, right? We must be free, right? So that's why when you see child, like child expresses great stuff. He expresses directly. He doesn't require any approval. He doesn't need any appreciation, any other stuff, right? He just expresses what he feels, right? But on the other hand, we the elder, right? We think about society. We think about what people we think. We blame other people about what's happening with us. So this is very dangerous, according to me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and so I would like to just here show one of the activity which I used to do, right, even at this age, to keep my childlike behavior alive, right? So I'm just sharing the screen, and then you will be able to see what I'm trying to say. So I have subscribed to one YouTube channel. Now this YouTube channel is about drawing, right? So they teaches us to how to keep this our child, like by just drawing, by just expressing, can just you're doing this kind of stuff each and every day. Practice drawing, right? It will help you to get imagination power increase, your visualization it will increase, you will be getting more creativity in your life, that kind of stuff. So I've been following this, right? This guy also started the age late age 30 35. He started to draw. He's not expert, right? But he practice continuous effort each and every day, and now he's some kind of expert. He's able to do 3D drawing also, right? So that's the
Mm-hmm.
power, right? So we need to involve any kind of activity in our life which helps to keep the inner child alive. That's what the motto is about.
Mm. Right.
Yeah, so I am also having some kind of experience which here I would like to share. Like when I was here in my school days, right, we used to have a lot of fun, right? What we used to do, we take a rubber band and then we fold this kind of paper. Let me show you, right? This is a live demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just show you. So if I take this
You
paper and
used to
then
make like a catapult.
yeah,
Catapult.
and then I just roll and this type of strip will there and then rubber band we will tie that and then we will do this kind of stuff so that it will be striking
And
someone and
target
then
on one particle thing.
yeah, and then after that we just need to hide, we will hide ourselves and then we will have fun, right? So are you having some kind of fun in your life, right? But because as our adult as adult we forget to have fun in our life, but fun is a very important part in our life.
Mm. Yes, the same thing just happened with me. Yes,
Yeah.
when I
Oh,
was in
yeah.
the school,
Yes.
I used to just play the pen fighter. You must be just aware of this particular name, pen fighter, because there are lots of bunch of guys who used to gather in one place when there were no classes, when there was a completely empty classes without a teacher. Then we had a kind of a courage to just play these kind of games. So lots of the students who used to just sit out from their just place and just gather in one place and surround the bench, and after that they put it out like lots of the pens on the just benches, and we used to play. We force the pen to the particular pen. If there is a collision, then one pen just get into just fell down, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it means that the particular person is completely eliminated. Then this is how
And then,
that we just feel like a rivalry. Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to just win the game.
Yeah, I also remember one of the worst incident that has happened during my school days, where just teacher was just making a row of boys and girls, right? And the teacher was just standing, and I was also there, and the person behind me just put, I mean, slap the teacher, right? And he just moved away, and now I was exactly behind him. So teacher was just bombarding and just questioning me, what is happening, what are you doing? I said, no, 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 sir, I didn't do anything. And then everybody was just enjoying the moment, but it was not
it
so serious because the teacher was also in a good mood, and so we just, I mean, it was a patch up. That kind of
it
stuff.
means that you became a scapegoat. You became a scapegoat at the time. Means
Yes,
someone
yes,
tried to just pull you.
yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah, like lots of incident happened with me as well, so that really just creates a lot of the happiness inside me. I just feel like smiling. And the best about the thing at the time, like I didn't have any vision like what I'm going to do. I didn't have any kind of concrete, or should I say firm, just aims, or the, what should I say, orientation for
Yeah,
my
we
just
were
further life. What would I do
Yeah,
if
we
I
were
just
free to
ex
totally free, so we will be able to express ourselves more
yes,
clearly, and we don't have much fear and other things, right? So we are just free,
yes,
and now we are happy. We are having fun. We are enjoying the life. There is no stress, anxiety, fear, and kind of stuff.
everything was natural.
Yes,
Everything was natural at the time.
yes, yes. And
But
also,
right now, I feel like, mhm.
yes, you go ahead.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
no, no, you go ahead. You continue.
Yes, I'm saying that right now I'm in the position, like even if that is feel like on that particular scene that I should just make a laugh, but I don't just feel like laughing because I know that I'm yet that consider myself as a successful person. So I'm just struggling hard. So if I will just make a smile, if I'll just be happy, if I'll just crack jokes, then I would just consider myself completely as a scene, right? So whole the scenario is gonna be seen if I'll just make a laugh, because you can't just laugh unless you just become a successful. Once
Yes,
you become a successful, you could just make a laugh, you could
yes,
just do whatever you want to do. But the thing is that there was a time that I used to pull the legs of the lots of the friends, but yes, that it was, according to time, it got vanished.
yes, yes, yes. Pulling legs was also one of the activity which we used to do. We pull the legs, we just tease, and there was also
Yes,
other circumstances like when we are into school, then we also try to impress, to make an impression on someone, some girls and other stuff.
yes,
And
yes.
we just, so now in that scene we just tend to make the other person low, so that we will be superior, and then we will get attention,
Mhm.
and then we will feel good. Okay, oh my God, I am great. People are
Yes.
just looking for us, and that it's really a great moment.
Yeah, yeah. We used to make it like a bunch, gangs of friends. Like
Yes,
there were just four of the other side friend, and there are the four of the other side. So we had a kind of rivalry between each other. So
yes,
we
yes,
used to pass a comment on them, and they used to make a lot of laugh.
yeah.
And we have to be just ready for the bad comment from the
Other
opposition
person,
party
yes,
as well.
yes,
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 so this is how that we used to spend our time. And see one thing, like
yes,
when I was in the 11th class, the particular school was completely new for me. I was a novice for this particular school, so I had a new face over there. So what used to happen that, like, there were two guys, right? So they didn't just they were unable to just pass the examination, and they used to be the senior, but due to somehow that they stayed at the same a class, right? So they become our just partner. So what we
okay,
used to do that I didn't used to bring a tiffin from my just home. So he was the one that who used to bring a tiffin. He had a kind of a body. So I used to praise him, so that I
okay,
used to sugarcoat him, not to praise him. I used to sugarcoat him and just, this is how that I just gave them a alluration so that I could just reach to their just tiffin, because I
yeah,
didn't have a tiffin at that time. And I was the guy that I'm just completely voracious, what should I, voracious eater.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you
So I
are
used
trying
to just approach there's this tiffin and just have it just each and every day. So that became a kind of the habitual process in my just life. And somehow that I just persuaded him and he used to make a laugh. This is how that we engage each other for 2 years. And once I just passed my 12th class, I just feel like just wandering. I didn't have the school, I didn't have discipline, I didn't have boys, bunch of the guys, right? See, one thing, like I was the alumni of the 12th class, right? So I had a school, so I was in the boundary, right? I had a fear of like teachers. I had a fear of they just being ferocious when you were, when you didn't complete the homework. So it means that there is a kind of the thread, right? You couldn't just cross it. But once I just got passed out from the 12th classes, so I just felt like just completely vagabond, just moving here there, like lots of the crowds are just passing in my just across my just eyes. looks like completely, what should I say, completely bamboozled. Like what I'm going to do, that I was not finding the right person whom I just spend my just time, whom I just hang out. So everybody was just completely settled. So since then I just felt like the laugh is could used to be the medicine in my just life. But right now, this particular antidote is not with my just life. So I have to just accept this life.
Yes,
The
yeah,
same thing
I
just happened
agree with
with
you.
me.
I agree with you 100%. But when I see myself, right, I was not so much mischievous like a like a backbencher, right? Was also a little more serious also, right, about my study and about my work. Not like other guys who just used to spend their free time just roaming here and there and wasting the time, right? So I remember
Mm,
that side, and I would also like to share something, right, which I have never shared before. So let me just open that stuff and let me just see, because sharing is important, and when you share that stuff, people will be able to connect to you, and it will be a great stuff, right? So yesterday also I did something like this. So today also I'm just doing whatever I can. This is a little bit taking time, so let me just arrange the stuff, right? So I okay, okay, it is all open. So uh, the system is low. In the meantime, you
okay.
can just continue, right? It is just taking time and it will be loaded soon. And yeah, so that is what we are
Mm.
talking about. That it is necessary to keep the child alive, right? But we forget in our family and stress,
But
anxiety, fears.
yes.
So the photo now you are seeing is of my school only, right? These are
You
my
uploaded
school.
it Facebook.
Yeah, these are all my school teachers, and I still remember. And I think that
Mm,
do never just forget your mentors and teachers, right, who were there in your life, right, from whom you have just learned a lot of things, right. So this was the picture,
mm,
right, where I just got of my school, right. I passed my 12th science in
mm,
2004, right, from Zenith School, Vadodara, and right now I'm grateful that I have great teachers like them, and now I'm really
mhm.
grateful for the mentors and teachers in my life.
Right. Yes, once point of the time, what happened that whenever the teacher being just so much angry on you and target you, most of the time you just feel like hating him, right? Or hating her. But
Yes.
after that, what happens that once you just surpass some certain age and surpass some particular classes, you just lost the particular teacher. Then you are
Yes,
just having the same grievance. Oh my God, I'm not just having those teacher who used to tease me at the time.
yes,
So
yes,
the same thing, it's a kind of the bond that used to be created by the teachers, but we didn't just accept him, embrace him in just life. So that's the things that the every people should appreciate. If someone, if some teacher are just focusing in your just particular individual, definitely he has something for you.
yeah. Same goes with the people. Like for example, when I just completed my 10th standard, then we need to shift from science and commerce, right? There is a differentiate part. So some of the friends who were there
Mm-hmm.
in my 10th standard, right, now they are just shifted to commerce background, and now I'm into science
Mm-hmm.
background. So now I definitely miss them. Why? Because there was a connection between us, and it was a good patching up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chemistry was there. We were
Mm-hmm.
sharing the stuff, right? We were knowing each other since long.
Mm-hmm.
So people has an impact in your life, right? Those people who come
Yes.
in contact with you on daily basis, right, play a role in your life. That is what I guess.
Mm. Right, right.
But there are some other people also which you just told me few days back, like your neighbor or something, when you just go out, right, and then you don't feel good about them because you hate them, right, the way they behave with you and all the other stuff you were
I,
just telling.
I I have I I have seen the people. People are just being bald, still they are just laughing. People doesn't have both of the legs, still laughing.
Yes,
But
yes,
we are just having everything. But we didn't just patch up with the goals because
yes,
we are not having the, what should I say? We still that far away from the goals, but that could be happen because it's a struggle. Like you have to struggle so that you could approach to the goals or this
yeah.
orientation.
Yeah, but at one point of
But
time,
at
I would also like to tell you that when you think that life is struggle, then you will attract more struggle in your life. But when you think that my life is easy, I will be earning a lot of money,
yes,
and then you will be eventually making your life easy, and then you will be earning a lot of money, right? So it depends all upon
yes,
mindset.
yes.
Everything is mindset.
Mindset.
Everything is mental.
You're right.
That's what I believe in.
Yes, actually, I used to do a jobs in the BPOs, as you are aware of already. So I had a friend of mine because he was not my friend. He is so much senior to me, like 10 years, like far from me, for my age. So so I was the one that whenever I just get in the just Casify whole stores, means where I used to do the job. So I used to feel like so much serious. I used to think about what would happen. Should I just pursue these jobs or not? So this is how that my just mind just full of sits, right? But he was the one that who just approached me and telling me like that, Vikram, you don't have to be serious that much. If you become
Yes,
serious, you can't be successful in your just further life. You have
yes,
to
right.
be just take everything lightly, because these are not struggles. See
Yes,
outside the people are not just having both of the legs, still they are just creeping so that
yes,
they could just reach the goals.
yes,
So I
that is
really
right.
just that gave me a really just heavy kick on my just heart.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he is the very right person.
Yeah, I have also at the same time, same thing, right? When I was just working in my job, right? At that time, people just say that whatever comes into your life, just take it, right? Don't be so serious, right? I mean, you can be serious. Being serious is one thing, but on the other thing, you need to take things lightly, right? Because every moment, everything, the
Mm-hmm.
things are changing, right? You never know what will be the next move, what will be the next opportunity, what will be the next thing that is going to happen. So be lightly and take whatever comes in your way. That's what the best advice that I just got when I was working continuously.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, because we don't just find a good lesson in the books only, because
Yes,
we have the multiple of the sources that could be as your just friend. You can
yeah,
just consider them as a lesson, as a
yes,
moral science for your just life.
yes,
And these people just come all of a sudden and just teach you heavily, and
yes.
you have to embrace them.
Yes, not everything comes from books, right? Majority comes from experience.
Yes,
Also, three things play a
yes.
very important role in personal life: knowledge, experience, and skill. Right? Knowledge all can
Mhm.
also be related with experience, and skill can also be related with knowledge. So,
but
with this
but I
thing,
can
I
also
just go.
see that and acknowledge, I can also see and acknowledge that the thing is that I have just given a deep insight towards it. Like there are the lots of the people, there are lots of the guys who consider themselves completely holy bookish, like completely
Yes,
get into the books and books and books. I
yes,
feel like the at the time, since they are just completely hooked up with the books, their just whole emotion gets destroyed and demolished. There are one point of the time when you just feel crying besides them, but these kind of people doesn't recognize you, who you are.
yes,
And
yes.
the bookish
They are
nowadays.
into their own self. They are just involved into their own self, old mind, own thinking.
Hmm.
They are into different kind of mentality. Those persons,
Yes,
but
their whole
every
mentality goes on like we shouldn't just give assistance to this particular thing. If I assist him, I'll just what should I say, I'll just spoil my just 2 minutes or the 5 minutes of my just precious time.
yes, yes.
So
When it comes to learning, I think two important things is most important, right? One is you can just write the stuff and try to remember the things, and second, you can just visualize what you are reading. These are the two important things when you are just reading and you want to learn something from the reading part. That is what I just believe.
mhm.
And reading
Yes,
has its own
definitely.
importance, especially when you are having a physical book, then you will be able to visualize what is happening, what is written. You just visualize that, and then now it will be imprinted into your
See,
mind, into memory, and then you can
now
recall
now I
that
have
through images, through visualization.
now one thing that is striking my just mind right now.
Yes,
The
yes,
thing is, they are the two kind of the people who are just having obesity. Both of the people are having obesity, and they know that what should I eat and what should I not eat, so that my just whole the body can't be just expand.
yes,
So the person who what he is doing to just melt his obesity, he just completely into books and reading a lot of the healthy foods, reading all the kind of the design, so that what should be done so that our just obesity goes to normal position,
normally,
right?
yes, yes,
So he's finding that after just reading like a dozen of the books that were just completely specialized on how to just kill your just obesity,
yes,
he's just reading and reading, had not just putting those all stuffs into action. See, there is a not change in their just lifestyle. But the second person, what did he do? That once he just went through the books, and after that he just put all those keywords into the action, right? He did everything. He was taking all the regime schedule, just running all the kind of fucking things he's doing. But see, Like he has found himself a drastic change in himself. Like he has just lost lots of the kgs. So see, here the book didn't just help you, only just gave you the knowledge. But if you want to just gain those knowledge, if you want to just gain all those the stuffs that is written, unless that you just put all those stuffs into the action, right? So action is needed. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm trying to say knowledge with accents matters. You need to take action
Mm-hmm.
once you just get knowledge or learn something. Like knowledge not use is garbage. If you are knowing something, if you want to just uh, make it imprisoned or take action, then you must share also. Knowledge not used as is a garbage. That is most important thing. I would
See,
like to add this.
we are always taught, like whenever is some person is in needy
Yes,
and they want something, we should just approach them if we have some sufficient amount, or could be any kind of stuff, so that we could just provide them and just fulfill their needs.
yes,
Then definitely we should just go forward it. But in real life, when we just come out of the books, come out of the schools, we doesn't feel like them use implementing those stuffs in our day-to-day life, right? So I think it's, and also that we are just told that Dory is very much harsh thing from the people. We shouldn't just go forward for the Dory. But see, like more than 90% people are just going for the Dory. And those person all are the product of schools as well, and they are already taught these things. Still, they are just doing that. So, what is your take on over this?
yeah, yeah. So what you're trying to say that when you were into school and college, you were thought that you need to help someone, right? And then
Yes,
after completing the school and college, you think that it is not. I mean, it is not.
yes, yes.
That is what your
Mhm.
question is.
We become self-centered.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. But I would here emphasize that if you are having enough, then only you will be able to help. For example, if you are poor, then you cannot help other people.
Yeah, I know that. But see, they are the people who are just complete, who are just come out from the poor and just being so rich. Still, that they are denying helping the people.
Yes. Yeah, it depends upon
So,
individual also. It depends upon their choice also, right? But I think for rich,
right.
being generous is a great attitude for rich people. Being
Mm,
generous is because whatever they will give, it
yes.
will return, right? Whatever you give
Hmm.
in the universe, it will return back.
Mm,
That's what I think about.
right. So, what are the steps we must just go for further, so that we could just bring a child from our inside that has been just gone for the death?
Yeah, we can involve into the activities that we used to do when we were child, right? You can just start journaling, like you can just start drawing, you can just start your hobby, your maybe a craft work or something, your skill, right? For example, you used to teach, right? When you were a child or in the school, then you can start that hobby of
Mhm.
teaching someone and sharing your knowledge, sharing your skill. In that way, you are keeping your child alive. In that way, you are recalling what you have done into your child time, what you have done into your past. That is more important.
if i if I cast my just if I just cast my mind back like like a half decade ago, like I used to completely engrossed in watching like lots of cartoons. There were just cartoons who were just so much famous, like we have right now, like Doraemon. I used to completely submerge in all those characters like Nobita. We had Suzuki, we had like lots of the character we had. So really just feel like doing all stuffs as I used to do that, and just involved in there, just hold a small kind of fight between Jian and the Nobita, and it really creates a kind of the vibes inside me. Oh my god, I have just gone through the same phase that I used to be.
Yes, right. It impacts. A lot of people are
Mm.
also not able to recall what they've done in their child. Like when I was child,
Mm.
then I used to play a lot of video games like Super Mario, Contra, and all the other stuff. We just used to waste a lot of time over the video games, right? Each and every day. So it was a good thing, I mean. And just we games when we were child, or whenever or whatever age you are, but games create a competitive mindset. It helps the mind, right? Games, online games or any other kind of
Hmm.
game, it will help you to develop something in you. So games are not bad, but too much games are bad. Anything greater is
But
addiction, end of
but
addiction.
I think but I think that there are lots of the high graphics games today comes, and and lots of the people and lots of the children are just completely engrossed into it, and they just feel like completely addicted. But if we just go behind like a decade, like we had a kind of a games which had the simple kind of graphics, and we were not completely too much involved in it. So
Yes, yes.
yes, there is a discrepancy between but today's games and the before we had a games.
Yes, yes, everything has changed. Lot of things has changed. Like Call of Duty, you will see, then PUBG, right? Now,
Hmm.
playing these games is very dangerous. Why? Because it involves killing,
Hmm.
it involves negativity, and then other person will always think that how can I defeat that person? How can I kill that person? So everything has its emotion. On the other hand, if you are into car racing, then you will think about competition. That I will be racing. A life is a race, and we need to just complete the race and let us just go
Hmm.
fast on this track. So everything has its thing in a mind. But playing game, I think, is the best thing that I had during my childhood, and everyone must involve that into that. For
Right.
example, there are also other things which we used to play, like cards, playing Uno, family game that will involve each and everyone,
Hmm.
right? And then
Yes.
we will spend a lot of time, right? The time will be passed like anything, but at the same time we will enjoy, right? There are carom also, there is chess also that we used to play, right? In 2002, I remember when
Right.
I was
Right.
in 10th standard, there was a problem of these riots, right, in our Gujarat. There were problem, and then we are locked down into home, and during that time, we used to play this chess a lot of time, many times, many hours. There are a lot of competitors. People will just gather from every house, every corner. They will come and then we will play chess
Wow.
together. A lot of time, many
Great.
hours and hours, hours and hours. And from that point only, I became chess master. And right now also, I am master at chess. I know chess skills because I have been practicing continuously on daily basis and keeping my child alive in me. So that is important. And one thing I would like to emphasize here, when we were child, our visualization power was very much high. Our creativity was very much high. But right now, we have lost the visualization, we have lost the creativity. Right? We can't visualize much. Right? Yeah, there are a lot of distractions also. But in child, we were able to focus. Our concentration power was high. So these are all things being child, I think.
Now we are just focusing on earning money. So
Sorry?
if you are
Yeah,
just
earning.
focusing on
Yes.
earning money,
Yeah.
if you are focusing on earning something, definitely everything is completely a snatch away from your just whole body,
Yes.
right? So
With age, the responsibility also comes. So then we will
yes,
be more stressed,
yes.
we will be more anxious, we will be
Uh,
more
then
worried.
you just then you, and once you just reach the some maturity, as you just feel like completely sober, right? You just feel like, no, I should just do these things, I shouldn't do these things. If I do these things, then I'll be considered as a child in front of the people. So what if that people will say to us if I do this kind of stuffs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like you can see that people used to play with the soil, with the muddy, with the
yes,
mud, right? They used to make carve any kind of the
yes,
kind of a statue and put it as a like funny face. So they used to like, but we couldn't just initiate those stuffs right now, right?
yeah,
If
yeah.
you do that, definitely we'll just get salt from family member to from societies.
Yeah, so let me tell you here something which I would like to tell you when I just saw the carom board behind you, right? There is a carom board behind you.
Hmm.
So now I
Yes,
remember
it's
the
been
day.
around 15 years.
Yeah, so then now I remember the days when the elders used to just gather and have carom board, right? And at that time I was like child, right, in 10th standard, and then they used to call me and we used to gather this carom board championship each and every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that lot of elders who were just of my age at that time, right? So they were also just get involved, and they were just also trying to bring their inner child outside. Then they will be happy, excited that we have played a game with a, with any person. So it's really a great thing.
Right. See, I have water in this copper copper
Okay.
jar.
I have also another thing to share. Like in my neighbors and the children used to play the cricket, right? So at that time,
Hmm.
when we were just free, or then people were just used to find a time, then elder will also get involved into playing cricket. So now they will recall that
Hmm.
child, like the child like them. They will recall the childish days, and so now that is also the way to keep the child alive. Yeah.
You're right. And see, when you are when you become a child, then you surpass some age, like after 6 7, you'll be just having a lot of the friends. Once you are just coming a you are just crossing your just graduation. After that, all the just friends are becoming invisible, like they have just gone to some other places, like completely settled. And there will be a time when you just become a part of your just family. It means that when you just get married to someone, then there will be no friend in your just contact, right? You just feel like completely submerged in your just family, all, what should I say, all layout. Like you are just having kid, you will be just having kids, you'll be just having wife, you'll be just having parents. Okay.